I wanted to talk to you today about something that you hardly ever hear anyone talk about in bow hunting, and that is, should you shoot sitting down or standing up? And there are some advantages to both. So let me go through and talk to you specifically about some of the advantages of sitting down while you're shooting. Now here's one of the most important things. Think about when you're standing up and how your stability is affected by the number of joints that are in play. You've got knee joints, hip joints, back, ankle, and so forth. So when you're standing, all of those joints are in play, and if you're sitting, you take the lower body out of it, and all those joints that can reduce stability are out of the equation. So you can be a lot more stable when you're sitting down. Now, of course, if you're going to shoot sitting down, you should practice sitting down, and that's something that could be as simple as like what I'm doing here today, sitting on a bucket. The first big mature white-tailed deer that I ever shot in my life back in the late 1970s was in a place where I knew that the deer would be coming during a snowstorm to go feed in a cornfield, and I just carried a 5-gallon bucket out there and pulled off the trail 10 yards and sat down, and I wasn't there for 10 minutes, and here come a nice big buck, and it was the first big buck that I'd ever shot in my life, and I shot it sitting on a bucket. So I have no problem at all talking about shooting a deer sitting on a bucket. Another advantage of shooting sitting down is you don't have to stand up all the time or use the extra motion that it takes to stand up when a deer might be coming. When I only shot standing up, I would always stand up for the last hour of daylight, because that's the most likely time when you're going to see a deer or a bear, whatever you're hunting, if you're in a tree stand. So I would just stand up for the last hour, and that gets kind of tiring. And I discovered that if I can learn to shoot sitting down, then I don't have to do that. In other situations, your target animal might surprise you and come along and you find yourself in a seated position. If you have to stand to shoot, that's a lot of movement that it's going to take to get yourself prepared for the shot, and you might not be able to get away with it. So there's significant advantages to shooting sitting down. I suggest if you're going to learn to really shoot well sitting down, and it's very easy actually, I would suggest that you sit in a chair or a bucket like this and spend some time practicing and shooting like this, and also spend some time shooting from a tree stand so you get a feel for what it feels like. Now, out of the 120 or so whitetails I've shot with a bow, and 37, I believe, bears that I've shot with a bow now, the majority of the bears were shot sitting down, and probably over half the whitetails now were shot sitting down. And typically I'd like to be able to shoot like this, which is the way that I would prefer to do it, but sometimes you don't have that option. I have shot quite a few animals in this position right here, shooting between my legs. And that just involves, you have to turn your upper body, okay? You're not turning yourself at the hips or anything like that. You're turning just your upper body. So this is all very doable. It's very easy to get good at it, and you can do it without losing your accuracy and actually improve your accuracy some. So I really challenge you to consider shooting sitting down, practicing sitting down, and you'll surprise yourself at how well that you can shoot if you do this.